There's always someone trying to get ahead of the curve and rip you off, and that's what's just happened. Wubby, a popular YouTuber and Twitch streamer, he got ripped off and scammed on a box of Urza Saga. And in today's video, we're going to talk about that as well as a few other things that happened with Aetherdrift on Twitch Live. And guys, we have a bit more to cover other than that, but this intro is getting too long. So let's get things started. Today's video should serve as a lesson to everyone out there that no matter how well prepared you think you are, no matter how many steps you've taken to protect yourself, go through the proper channels, sometimes you're still going to get scammed and sometimes things go wrong. There's lessons to be learned though. Welcome back everyone. mtgnews here, and thank you again for hanging out with me today on my channel. So if you guys didn't already hear this news, if you're just new to finding out what's going on, Wubby, who is a popular YouTube Twitch streamer, hundreds of thousands of people watch this guy every day. He had a Twitch stream and he had an Urza Saga box being opened. Okay, it was sponsored. They had all kinds of people coming over to check this stuff out. But as he opened it, as he got into the box, it turned out only the surface layer had Urza Saga's pack. The rest of the box was not Urza Saga packs. Instead, it was Wyvern packs. Wyvern. Back in the day, it was another TCG card game. It's an old game. Happened at the same time as Magic, but it didn't last, right? It eventually went bankrupt and it's out of print. But imagine having that happen. Now, there's a lot here to cover in today's video, so bear with me. But first off, if you were looking to buy Wyvern packs nowadays, they're like 10 bucks a pack. Okay, 20 bucks a pack. You can find a box of sealed Wyvern for a couple of $100. There's even instances back in the day where there was Magic cards printed, because it was at the same company, and Wyvern backs. So it had a Wyvern back, same Wyvern, but the front was a Magic card. Because there was like misprintings all the time back in the day, and there was lots of companies getting into the TCG game. I guess some cross stuff happened. But in this case, it's a repacked box. Scammed, resealed, horrible. Now, here's some good stuff. The people who were sponsoring it, they were, I think it was Drip, if I remember that right. They went into like some of the subreddit stuff, and they were saying, hey, we found out, we were with you guys when this happened. We've refunded all money. We've noted to the person who we bought it from, who we thought was a reputable source. They probably are a reputable source. And even they didn't know because it's an old box. Like, if I look over here, guys, if I pop over here, I've got an old box of Urza's right here, okay? So we got Urza's Destiny. Now, how would I know this box isn't a resealed box? How would you make sure that what just happened to Wubby doesn't happen to you if you're buying a vintage box? Well, it's kind of hard. Now, in this case, I know the person that I got this from. Knew him in high school, remembered when he bought this stuff. He just was way ahead of the curve, okay? And we bought these directly from the person who bought it way back in the 90s. So I'm confident that that box is a real box, okay? Because I know the source material and the provenance going all the way back to my high school days. Most people don't get that kind of knowledge. They don't get that kind of upkeep. Now, the fact that this was Wyvern packs, Wyvern packs, I'm just going to say Wyvern, okay? Wyvern packs inside here, it means it was probably repacked a really long time ago, okay? But probably somewhere in the early 2000s when the old TCG games were dirt cheap and there was still older wrapping machines available that still had the kind of older kind of packaging stuff to do this kind of work, okay? There was also ways of heating it up and expanding it. There's a lot going on. Now, the fact that this was covered, the fact that we have a box that got hacked into, reminds me of how many times and how easily, not just happening to big YouTubers, but even small people, even an average Joe who's just a vintage collector. This stuff happens. And the fact that Wubby, sorry, a little dry throat here. The fact that Wubby goes out there and buys an old box and actually exposes a lot of these older boxes as being fake does a couple of things to the market. It does a few things. Let's not forget that an Urza Saga box in 2021 was a $15,000 box of Magic cards. That's how expensive they were in 2021. Nowadays, it's like an $8,000 box of Magic, but it's still $8,000, isn't it? That's still a lot of money on the line to open a box that has just got nothing but garbage inside because it's fake. We're lucky it didn't have cardboard shavings or something really weird. But either way, he is exposing those old boxes. He is bringing them to light And now there's one less old counterfeit box still in circulation. It's one less. And every time some big YouTuber opens an old box like this, they expose it and it's gone. It's out of circulation and it would not be reproduced because the cardboard, the wrapping, that material doesn't exist anymore. You'd have to have a pristine box. You'd have to find a way of getting it. So those kind of things, they do get found out. They do get brought to light and they eventually get exposed and they're gone. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have notes here today to make sure I give you guys accurate information. So let me just flip this over here because we got to make sure we're doing everything correctly today. Now, when you're thinking about what's going on with scammed booster packs, we've seen this before too. We've had it since the early days and it still happens today. We have everything going back to some of the modern Master Series products that had like the cardboard sleeves. Remember the cardboard, packaging? And there was ways of opening it and getting the cards out and people put all kinds of fakes in. That stuff happened too. It didn't just happen back for really expensive products. It happened for newer stuff that was still expensive because it was a premium product. And players found easy ways. I remember back in the day with Legends packs and Revised, as well as anything from Antiquities and Arabian Nights, because they were white-ended, both ends were white on the packaging, you could actually slide it up in the bright, bright lights and see what the rares and stuff were if you were really good at it. That's why most people consider any loose pack searched. It may not be actually opened, it may not be hacked and resealed, but it is searched. So technically, whoever did it knows what's in there. And anyone who bought it or has it in their possession now, he knows what's in there. They know what's in that pack. So never, ever buy a pack loose thinking you're getting something that somebody else doesn't know about. They already know. All of those packs searched. Even if you see a PSA rated 9 or 10. It doesn't matter if it's PSA 10. It doesn't matter if it's PSA 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I don't care. They've all been searched. It's safer to assume that. That way you're never going to get disappointed. You can go in with the cynical side. Now, let's step back here and remember that Wubby exposed this box. We know it's fake. There are many probably fakes out there over the years that have found their way into regular circulation through various business models, from brick and mortar to online to heritage auctions. They're all out there. There's lots of ways. And over time, many of these boxes, the way the big YouTubers are opening boxes now, they pay big money. They sell off the packs to the people in the channels. And you know what? We're going to find a lot more of these over the years. And there'll be less and less in circulation. And the fact that the company backing this stepped up and gave refunds, that's a solid thing, man. That is really good. That's a strong company. I would feel better buying from them, knowing, because now they've backed up other people and given refunds, they're a trustworthy company, and that's hard to find nowadays. Now, when we're looking at more modern packs of things that could be scammed, booster boxes and stuff, you're not really going to be able to scam any of these new booster boxes for the most part. But what does happen is you can order things on Amazon that have already been looked at, and they send you package that have already been ripped into, everything good taken out, and they're shipping you the commons, uncommons, bulk, rares, and junk. That's the most common scam we hear of nowadays. It still happens to this day. I still get emails about it once a month, twice a month, sometimes 3 or 4 months in between. But the fact you still get them lets you know they still exist, no matter how well you're preparing for it. So that's what happened to Wubby. That's what's going on with his Twitch stream. I will leave links to all this, by the way, in the description of this video, so you guys can check this stuff out. Now, let's jump over to the next thing. When I did the Twitch live thing today, they had this whole thing where they talked about Magic Con Chicago and D&D's 50th anniversary. And I'll be honest, that excites me. I was like, that is going to be awesome. To think Dungeons & Dragons has been around for 50 years. How it has changed and evolved over the years. It is crazy to see where this game went when I first started with Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and I stopped at 2nd edition. But this stuff is still going on today. You can get elaborate models, build amazing campaigns. It is crazy to think and how good players are with their imaginations and creativity. I gotta say, that Magic Con is one I would love to go to. It is going to sell out. I know it is going to. It is going to be crazy. People are going to be buying those badges no matter what the price. They're going for the VIP, the regular. It's all going to sell. And if you're going to Magic Con Chicago, I hope you drop a comment, because I think that is just crazy. Now, we're not done, though. Magic Con was one thing, but they also talked about Aetherdrift. And this is where things can get a little more, what's going on there? So what happened was they talked about some of the worlds and planes of existence we'll be visiting during this big race, okay? And it starts kind of on Kaladesh, which has been renamed to Aviskar, I think they named it, right? But they showed a few new worlds like Murgada, Amonkhet, and the idea we're going to some new places and kind of expanding it. And the other guy they had on there, I forget his name, but I'll be honest, he actually seemed genuinely passionate for the world building he's trying to build and the ideas he was trying to bring forth. I'm not saying I agree with them all, but I really loved that kind of passion and dedication. I got excited just thinking about it. And it doesn't matter if I like Aetherdrift or not. Some of the artwork I saw was very appealing. From Amonkhet, from Murgada, all three of the worlds they showed, just individual photos, was really cool. Again, I'll leave links to this, guys. They're in the description. You can watch the whole Twitch stream if you missed it. But I thought that was some really good stuff. I thought it was very appealing to the eye, and I like the passion that this guy brought because it reminds me about why I play Magic and why I love it. It doesn't mean I like every direction they take, but for that moment, for that 25 minutes of him talking, I gotta say, when I'm looking at the artwork and hearing him talk about it and answering some questions, it was something that I was just really, really excited for. And that's weird because I'm not excited for Aetherdrift, but it's good to see that somebody's passion can still bring around that love of Magic and make me just want to go, you know what? I'm going to build some crazy new deck. I'm going to do it this weekend and I'm going to go down my game store and see what happens. Love that idea. And that is something I think sometimes we need an extra kick in the pants to remind us how awesome this game can be and how much work artists put into the game. The game building can take a long time. And I wish they gave us more expansive stories. I don't always like the stories they take, but at the same time, I understand the game's evolving and we're going to evolve with it. Just like Dungeons and Dragons and everything else, it doesn't stay the same as much as some people like myself may wish it would. It's not going to. So step up to the plate. Let's see where this is going. And dude, I don't know who you are, but I got to say, you did a good job. Okay, I was very impressed. Now for the last part that we're going to cover. This is the whole thing because a lot of people were talking about this, and it is the MSRP and the 30 packs from Aetherdrift. Now, this is where people were very controversial. Controversial? Yeah, controversial. There was this whole thing going on, and it was people talking about the MSRP at $5.49 a pack. And the fact it's going down to 30 packs, and the guy kept saying, well, and he wouldn't give the prices. No matter what people tried to goad him into in the comment section, he did not get on the prices or the fact players were mad about it. He was just trying to ignore that fact and just go, hey, it's MSRP. It doesn't matter if it's 36 packs or 30 because the price will reflect that. And I'm like, it's true, it's going to, but I still think it's an idea of the mind. And he was saying that stores wanted it. So I reached out to a lot of my stores and asked, and it's like, no, none of them asked for it. So out of like 32 stores I hit up, out of my 47, 22 responded, and no, none of them asked. So 22 said no, and I didn't get answers from other people in time for today's video. But the idea that everyone just said no, like we never asked for that, we didn't come from us. And it just shows that kind of stuff doesn't really hold water for whatever reason, though. And we know it's probably going to be a monetary thing. MSRP at $5.49 times 30 packs now will give us the box. And that's what he kept saying. He just kept saying, you take the pack price of MSRP, times it by 30, and that's the suggested retail price. But he wouldn't give you it. And knowing that, you know, when they sell it to a distributor, they don't go by the pack, they go by the box. So I can't wait to see how that all, you know, plays out in the next little while. But a lot of players were actually not angry. As much as I might just note, there's players in that comment section who said, nah, I wish it was 24 packs. I wish it was 30 packs and we have enough for prize support, plus people can draft. There was a lot of excitement either way, because it does make it more affordable for players to buy boxes again, even if it is only 30 packs with 14 cards. A lot of people are really angry about it, but there is a group of players out there who have no problem whatsoever. They're just excited to be able to afford a box again and break it down with some friends. And I can understand that. I can get behind that idea that it's affordable again. I still wish it was a cheaper product line, but we're not going to get that either. So it is what it's going to be. But it was nice to see the excitement. It was nice to be there enjoying those conversations and talk to people about stuff. And I may not like what's going to come up with Aetherdrift, but I'm excited to play Magic. And I can't wait for this weekend because I got some ideas I'm going to go over. And to Wubby, dude, I think that's horrible that happened to you. I'm sure it makes for great content on the big thing when it happens, but at the same time, it's horrible. And I'm glad you're exposing these fake boxes, bro. Get this stuff out of circulation. Make the good stuff be great again. Make this stuff like hold up its value by getting rid of all the scam boxes from back in the day. I wonder how many people really did that. I mean, nobody takes tallies of that stuff, but I know it's happened in the past. I remember again with Legends packs and stuff like that back in the day. So anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here in the channel today. And that's the news. Did I miss anything? Probably not. Probably I missed a lot, but that's okay. You guys can comment in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're only like 400 and a few subscribers away from 26K. Can't believe it. It's going to be awesome. Guys, we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to my fantastic patrons. Guys, the patrons on this channel who step up every single day, well, it's because of them that this content gets created. So thanks again to the supporters out there. Thanks for stopping by the channel and hanging out with me, man. It's pretty awesome to be able to hit these conversations every day. And the world of Magic, hey, it's always changing, which makes it a fun place to visit. Guys, I'll see you again tomorrow with another video. Have a great day. Okay, welcome back to the end. The end of the end. That's some crazy news. The Aetherdrift stuff, it's funny when it's being explained, and you see people talking, you see other points of view, and you realize, depending on that point of view, it may not be offensive or you might be highly offended. And I like the idea we all get a different take on things. Keeping your mind open to possibilities is a good thing. This is the Ramble Jamble, brought to you by the patrons of this channel and the Mox Man himself. Now, the Wubby thing. The idea that the boxes I have, some of these old things, where are we? Somewhere over here? Wherever. Ah, there's one there, or maybe we go over here to Avacyn or something like that. Some of the older boxes I have in my possession. Ice Age. Now you're getting old. When you look at those boxes and you think they could be fake. Now, a lot of these cards inside, there's no reason to make them fake. They were never expensive. That's how you know a box like this would be the early 2000s, right? Because it's the late 90s. Somebody would get into possession, card prices would start going up, and then somebody would, do something to the box to hack into it, right? So that idea doesn't really hold for things like like the boxes that you see up there, like Ice Age or Homelands, of course, or those kind of mediocre boxes. There might be one or two good cards, maybe $20, $30 cards from the reserve list, but there's nothing of high enough value. So those cards are pretty safe. Plain and simple. Right? But these kind of things, these were all getting broken into. Remember these? I remember these things getting hacked into and people getting opened boxes from Amazon. And it's like, oh, somebody already opened it and sent me used packs. It was crazy. That stuff is going to keep happening, right? You got to be careful. Go with really vetted vendors to make sure that they're safe to buy from. Or, of course, your local store that you trust. Because I have bought, in my time, I only bought one pack that was fake. Okay? I knew it had been searched. And when I started to open it, I said to the guy at the store, this is back at Million Comics here in Toronto. And I said to the guy, dude, before I even open this right here at your store, take a look at that. That is crazy glue. And as I'm about to take the sides and open the little tiny bit, you can see the crazy glue sticking. He goes, oh. I go, dude, I'm not opening it. I need my money back. That's a fake pack. And he gave me the money back. No questions asked. No problem. Because that's fake. And then they just opened it right there. They trimmed off the end of the card. And the rare inside that thing wasn't that bad. It was a brain geyser, right? But they had all commons. It was all commons with a brain geyser. So somebody just fiddled with the pack at some point, put it together. But it was crazy glue for sure. And it gets really hard, so you can kind of tell, and super sticky in some cases, depending on when it was done. Okay, so all crazy glue dries out, right? The types of glue, especially back then, they get this kind of crusty film, and you can see it when you start to break it. But that's the only time I've ever had anything remotely, and that's because I was going to open it at the store. I said, I'm going to open this right here. I want you guys to be here. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. Great little stuff going on, and we'll see how things pan out. But man, I would hate to have to buy a box like that myself and have something go wrong. I would only buy from like big people I know. I would hit up a store that's already checked this stuff out, and I would tell them, I'm going to film this. If anything goes wrong, I need to know you're behind it. And then that puts them on the line. We'll see what they say. They have to write something too. I want them to write something up. That's why I buy a lot of reserve list cards from bigger stores, because then the vetting of it is on them. I don't like getting a card from eBay shipped to me, and then I've got to worry about it. I know there's like authenticity things now coming from like eBay, but back in the day there wasn't. So you kind of had to be worried about every step of everything you did. So anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here. The Ramble Jamble's over. We will shop smart, shop as smart. We will see you tomorrow, and I can't wait to play some Magic. I'm going to play some Arena too. I'm just going to crack into this and see what happens. Later, guys.